of Duane Allman's long list of accomplishments in a really, really, really brief professional career. He died at 24. At Fillmore East is the apex of it. That was his band and their singular artistic vision that they captured on vinyl. The Book of Duane, Play All Night, Duane Allman, and The Journey to Fillmore East. Bud Scapa reported that the Fillmore East sessions caught a band entering its prime as a performing unit. They arrived in New York well-rehearsed and in top form. Arkush said, "The Saturday night shows early and late were probably the greatest live performances I've ever witnessed. The bulk of At Fillmore East came from these two shows." At Fillmore East was a carefully planned and brilliantly executed documentation of the band's development. Listeners can hear the closeness of the musicians in their conversations, each improvising his part, whether soloing, comping, or both simultaneously. What made that weekend special is that we had been out on the road. We'd been playing these songs, and sometimes everything comes together at the right time. When you have the right people in the right place doing the right thing, Butch reflected, we were really comfortable with these songs that we were playing. On Whipping Post and Mountain Jam, we had really learned to talk to each other. By the time that weekend came along, we were really communicating. We knew those shows were special, J-Mo said, but when you're doing it, and you're in the middle of it, you're not thinking like that. Great stuff was going on. I didn't want to get hung up over knowing the shows were being recorded. That would not be good. You need to get your mind off of that so you don't get hung up and forget what you're supposed to be doing, which is playing music and connecting with an audience. Vitamin ABB. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
At Fillmore East is such a significant record to Duane Allman and to the Allman Brothers legacy, and that it's much deeper than just their best-selling record, but the stakes that were on the line when they recorded that record. They were going to break the band up after two very unsuccessful records, and hundreds of thousands of dollars dumped into the band. The fact that they recorded live in front of, it's the biggest stage in rock. At Fillmore East, everybody knew it. Bill Graham knew it, and they delivered. This is a record that has 0 overdubs. For Columbus, that record was heavily overdubbed, as great as it is, right?
Europe so 72 was a great studio record.
So was Skullfuck, but that is not the case on Fillmore East. It's just like Coltrane walking into Rudy Van Gelder's studio and recording A Love Supreme, except you had an audience there too. I mean, in no way am I saying their achievement is bigger than John Coltrane's. No way am I saying that. What I'm saying, though, is I think a lot of times that record people think about, oh, it's a great live album, like Get Your Ya-Ya's Out is a live album. It's a great album that was recorded live and released as an artistic statement. And so that's essentially the argument of the book, is deconstructing that album and the sound that made it. I call it the biography of a sound.